What is up, everyone? In the Retro Cup, Fairy and Steel types are banned, and this has made it so that Dragon type attacks go completely unresisted across the entire format, which has made Dragon type Pokemon just extremely strong here. So, I figured, what could be better than a triple Dragon team in the Retro Cup? Now, there are still some answers to Dragons in this format, like Ice types, which is why I'm running several Dragons on this team that have a lot of play versus Ice types, like Haxorus with counter and Hakamo-o with brick break. The fighting type, fast and charge attack here do super effective versus many of the ice types, which, while they're generally not winning those matchups, unless you're faced up against an Aurorus and you can counter it down, you at least bring them low enough to where it can teamwork through an ice type, and then once the ice type is gone, the other dragons can really sweep the game. Overall, this team worked quite well for me. It's definitely a team I would recommend. We're just gonna head right into these battles though right now. Starting off with an Alola Marowak lead, which is awesome. All three of the Pokemon beat Alola Marowak. By the way, I run Surf on Haxorus, but I do not recommend that at all. Haxorus has a lot of different options for charge attacks. You could go with Night Slash, you could go with Dragon Claw, which is not worth it, or Breaking Swipe is just better. It's the same stats, but has the chance of the buff now. You can go with Earthquake. I think Night Slash is the way to go. That's what I would use, because Night Slash helps a lot versus a Pokemon like Frostlass, an Ice type, that you can now hit for super effective with Night Slash, so I would highly recommend Night Slash. It has so many attacks though, that I did not want to TM. You know, TMs are not easy to get, and generally you're just gonna Breaking Swipe anyway. So, in almost none of these battles, I felt like throwing anything other than Breaking Swipe. So, yeah, you can even just go with one charge attack, which is pretty much what I'm doing now. Alright, this Alola Marowak here. I decided to shoot up my Hakamo because I had a lot of energy, and I could fire an attack versus whatever came in next, but I ended up making a mistake. I waited too long to see what came in, and I let the Arctimax farm me down. Now I have to do a play, make a catch of this Avalanche on my Haxorus. This is huge. Honestly, my opponent made a bit of a mistake here. They could have won just going straight Dragon Claw, but you know, I tried to go for my Winkon, which was my opponent making a mistake and throwing the Avalanche there, and I managed to get it. GG. Okay, Dragon answer in the lead here. Milotic with Dragon Tail beats all three of my Pokemon, but with teamwork, I should be able to get rid of it. Breaking Swipe debuffs here, which is huge. 50% chance now, so a bit lucky there, but you know, sometimes you gotta get a bit lucky. Opponent forces switch out because of that. Goes into Cresselia, go for another Breaking Swipe. Unfortunately, does not knock out the Cresselia. Cresselia also a bit of a problem for this team as super effective Moonblast. Hits all my dragons for very hard. However, they run Confusion, which while they're doing like a lot of fast attack pressure, they're not getting to the charge stacks that quickly. So Altaria will definitely be able to deal with the Cresselia here. Gonna shield up this next attack. It's unlikely that they're gonna have more fairy attacks on the team, so this will likely be the hardest hitting attack we're gonna get. So wise shield there. Out comes Milotic again. Milotic needs 8 Dragon Tails for a actually no 9 Dragon Tails for a Hyper Beam. So I know they're not there yet. They need like one more now. Out comes Oranguru, which is really bad for Hakamo. This is triple strong versus Hakamo, but they've just thrown 3 Confusions. They're gonna need 3 more Confusions to reach Psychic. So I know I can bring in Hakamo now, throw 4 Dragon Tails, CMP tie on the Dragon Claw with their Psychic, take out the Oranguru. Now the Milotic is 1 away from the Hyper Beam, so I get it now, but that's fine. We just let ourselves go down. And hopefully fast attack this down with Altaria and Haxorus. We're both very low. Both are going to go down to 1 Dragon Tail, but 3 Dragon Breaths and a counter is enough to take out the Milotic. GG. Okay, Lantern. This is really what you want to see. Whenever you see a Lantern, you pretty much have already won the game, as this Pokemon pretty much has no play versus anything in your team. And I get the Breaking Swipe on top of that too. So this is looking pretty good. They actually stay in. Apparently they're kind of weak to dragons. So that's interesting. They're staying in. I'm gonna go for another Breaking Swipe here. If they let it go, it knocks them out, and they do. So now I still have Haxorus and 2 full dragons left. I'm going to be able to Breaking Swipe this Golbat. Golbat is a bit of a tough Pokemon for this team. It does beat both Haxorus and Hakamo, but Altaria should be very fine. Also, again, I get the attack drop with the Breaking Swipe. That's huge, because now this Golbat can't do that much damage versus my Altaria. Of course, I'm just going to let the first attack go. Out comes Vigoroth, bring in the Hakamo. Vigoroth, another one of those Pokemon that's generally quite good versus most dragons. because it outpaces all of our dragons to attacks and counters do a lot. But Haxorus with counter and Hakamo with brick break and its bulk can deal with it quite nicely. So again, that's another reason to pick these dragons over others. You could definitely go other dragons as well, by the way. A Dragonair would fit really nicely. Hakamo-o would work. What else? Guzzlord. No, Darkest Band. There's other dragons, right? Dragonite will be fine. I picked Altaria over Dragonite, by the way, because Altaria is just a lot tankier. I really did want a flying dragon on the squad, just for that fighting resist to be better versus Pokemon like Vigoroth, or Metacham, especially Metacham. And Altaria is just much bulkier than Dragonite, so that's why I picked Altaria, but a Shadow Dragonite or regular Dragonite could definitely work as well. However, I do think Altaria is preferred. Arctibax, Arctibax another dragon you could go with, but again, then you're just weaker versus Vigoroth. But then you are neutral versus ice types. Actually, that's interesting. Maybe Arctibax is a good substitute for either Haxorus. Yeah, actually, thinking about it, why didn't I think about this earlier? Arctibax instead of Haxorus would work really nicely. Like, really nicely. Alright, anyway, this is bad. Hypno into my Hakamo. Hypno can carry Ice Punch too. They're likely carrying Ice Punch. That's pretty bad. I think I should be able to Dragon Breath down before they get to triple Ice Punch though. And if I don't, then it kind of sucks. That's it. You know, you just gotta hope sometimes. You gotta hope sometimes. They go for another Ice Punch here. They need like 4 more Confusions. Actually, I think they need 1 more now. Yeah, they need 1 more now for the Ice Punch. So I'm kind of afraid they're gonna farm down my Haxorus and get to an Ice Punch later. Or I think they could even, without a farm down, I could probably even get there. So it's kind of scary. Out comes the Stunfisk now. I bring out Haxorus. Get the attack drop, which is huge. Actually kind of getting lucky with these breaking swipes. That's nice. That's really nice. Mudbomb still knocks out Haxorus though, because it's so squishy. Bring out Altaria now. Just gonna take whatever. There's still a full Galv and there's a Hypno, which is 1 Confusion away from an Ice Punch. Important to note here, by the way, if you throw a Moonblast, it's going to be 4 Dragon Breaths. Well, if you're at 100 energy and you throw a Moonblast, it's going to be 4 Dragon Breaths to get to your Sky attack. So, what I actually did here was a bit of an odd play, is I threw my Moonblast after 2 Dragon Breaths into the Galvantula instead of 3. 3 would be proper timing. However, if you throw at proper timing, your opponent will be able to switch out after your charge attack with a 0-turn switch. And since it's 4 Dragon Breaths to get to the Sky attack then, if they bring in Hypno immediately afterwards, they have a 0-turn switch, 4 turns to get a Confusion, they would see him be tied with me on the charge attack, which Altaria would lose. So I threw it improper timing there, 2 turns, which means their Volt Switch damage applies later after my charge attack, and that gives them a 1-turn switch, which should allow my Altaria to outpace the Hypno if they were to bring it in. I actually have a video about this specific topic, about when it's a 0-turn switch and when it's a 1-turn switch, already on the channel. For more info, I'll link it down in the description. But pretty much, that's why. Because if I threw it proper timing, the Hypno would have seen me tied with me, whereas now, throwing it improper timing, the Hypno, I would outpace the Hypno. However, they ended up staying in with the Galvantula, and unfortunately, they reached the attack. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. I really thought I was being so smart there, but it was just a checkmate scenario, I guess, where they win either way. That was very close. I really thought those 13 Dragon Breaths, or 12 Dragon Breaths, and Moonblast would be enough, but unfortunately I needed 1 more. Anyway, it was still a good game. This next match, Hakamo versus Altaria, this is fine, I can take both shields. Or Wind Switch here. That's also why I like Hakamo, it's very good versus these opposing dragons. And you do see a lot of dragons here. You do see a lot of dragons. A lot of dragons. In fact, I think this was the first game I played. By the way, Haxorus with counter is not as good as into other dragons, so that's why I switch out there. Into Hakamo immediately. Opponent not getting debuff, that's nice. Out comes Hakamo-o now. This is a bit tough, because if they overfarm with this Hakamo-o, I actually don't outpace him to a breaking swipe, but luckily my opponent throws immediately, and this puts me in a good spot, because now I should outpace him to a breaking swipe, and we should be looking very good. Counter, counter, counter. Go for the breaking swipe, outpace him, 10 versus 12 turns for the charge attack. This knocks out the Hakamo-o, And then we should be able to counter down the Haxorus too. GG's. Very nice. Alright, Dragonair. I faced a surprising amount of dragons. Well, I was expecting a ton of dragons. I'm not the only one running triple dragon. I mean, my opponent just ran it, and there's a lot of players running triple dragon as well. But I faced surprisingly little dragon counters. Like, actually, I don't think I faced a single Dugong, which is wild to me. Which is absolutely. I think you should be running Dugong, like definitely. In fact, the video I'll be posting tomorrow will be about how you can beat dragons. I made an anti-dragon team. It worked quite well, so that's gonna be tomorrow's video. It's gonna include Dugong and a mystery, spicy, but very good dragon counter too. The odd part though, you see me play a lot of dragons in these battles, like a lot of dragons in these battles. In fact, the first 3 battles I played with this squad, I faced 8 dragons out of 9 Pokemon. 8 dragons, which was just wild. And then I go play my anti-dragon squad, and the first dragon I faced was battle number 5, which was just wild. The team still worked well, though. The team still worked well, so that's going to be tomorrow's video. Anyway, speaking of dragons, bye-bye, Dragonair. Yeah, I don't think Double Fire is the way in the Retro Cup, but I do really respect it. I do like this Chandelure Skeledirge combination, so GG to my opponent. Ooh, another dragon. Yeah. Okay, switching Hakamo, out comes Cresselia. This is definitely a problem Pokemon for this team. Like I said before, beats all 3 of my Pokemon, but with teamwork, should be very doable. Just gonna shoot this potential Moonblast up, 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 up. That's Dutch. Anyway, go for a Dragon Claw here. Hakamo does put in some work here, but it's not as oppressive. This is like the downside of Hakamo. It's not as oppressive as other dragon types, where other dragons would be able to do a lot more damage much faster, and like outpace this Cresselia in terms of damage and energy. Hakamo can't really, but luckily my opponent doesn't seem to have Moonblast. They threw another Grass Knot. And because of that, I'm just going to switch it to Altaria now. I didn't want my Hakamo to be farmed down. And it's just another Grass Knot, which is great. Out comes Lickitung now. Lickitung is a bit of an issue for this team too. Well, I wouldn't say it's really an issue for this team, but in general, Lickitung does beat the dragons. And this is also another reason why I run counter on Haxorus to beat the Lickitung. But Haxorus is so squishy that it's still kind of bad. There is a Dragonair in the lead, by the way. Dragonair can farm down Haxorus before I get to 2 breaking swipes to knock it out. So what I said to do here is just throw a Sky Attack and let my Altaria go down. The switch timer is already up, but my only win con here is if my opponent decides to stay in with the Lickitung, allow me to farm them down, and then get to double breaking swipe versus Dragonair. But unfortunately, my opponent's smart. Switches out in Dragonair, and now the game's just over. They also got a charge stack before I even reached past the first breaking swipe. So yeah, GG there. Unfortunately, just very outbulked there. Hakamo lead again. Other dragons are tough for Haxorus. I didn't want to be behind in energy with my own Hakamo, so actually switching Altaria. Not something I'd recommend. I think Hakamo is a much better pivot in this meta. Just because, like, let's say an Ice type comes in, Hakamo is a lot more play there than Altaria does. So one thing I was really hoping to see were Auroras. I thought Auroras was going to be a thing. And it would have been really funny to be able to either counter down on Auroras or brick break it. Brick breaking would be extra funny. But unfortunately, I faced none. So that's kind of sad. But I mean, if you decide to run this team and you brick break an Auroras, send me a video on like Twitter or something, or in my Discord. I would love to see that, because that sounds amazing. Anyway, Charjabug, incredible for this team. Nothing really loses. They crunch and get the debuff, which is wild. And now comes Lantern. Lantern is not a Pokemon I recommend in this format, to be honest. I don't think it's very good. I guess it's like the anti-dragon, where you're beating the things that beat dragons, like Dugong, like Frostlass, like Milotic. But why be anti-meta when you can just be anti-meta, you know? Or you just run a Bulmasnow, you know? Run a Bulmasnow and beat Lantern and dragons. But if you run a Bulmasnow, you also lose versus things that beat the other dragons, like Frostlass and what other ice types are there? I guess Dugong you don't really lose to. Anyway, I don't recommend Lantern. That's what it comes down to, alright? It's just the dragons are almost everywhere. You suck versus dragons with Lantern. Poliwrath is a tough one. I don't get the debuff there, which is unfortunate. Well, yeah, I seem to be outpacing in damage. Well, I already hit a breaking swipe actually, so never mind. I hit the breaking swipe, and they didn't even hit a charge stack, and I was already almost at the same health as they were. That's just the bulk difference there. My opponent not running Icy Wind instead running Ice Punch, which is fine, because that means I don't get debuffed. Out comes Cordeli now. Another Pokeball that has some play against Altaria with Rock Slide. Wasn't expecting them to throw immediately. I want to catch the Rock Slide at 5 Bullet Seeds, but it's 4 to get there. So I just wasn't expecting him to throw at 4. Most players, they tend to be a bit of aware of catch, but his opponent doesn't seem to be, so I'm gonna catch the second Rock Slide here, which at 7 Bullet Seeds. There's some resisted damage on Hakamo-o. They need 4 for the next attack, I'm pretty sure. And they try to go for it, but Hakamo-o is too strong. Counters down, or Dragon Tails down, and on comes our charger. But again, there's a team that's super weak to dragons. Like, some of these teams, like, I had a tough lead there, right? Poliwrath, with the Ice Punch, was able to both take out my Haxorus and take a shield from Altaria. I lost Switch, I lost shield advantage, but I still won the game. Because my opponent just ran a team that was super weak to dragons. And they are around. GG's. Okay, Arctopax in the lead. This is one of the dragons where I do tend to stay in with Haxorus. However, it's questionable. You could also consider switching in Hakamo here instantly. Unfortunately, I don't get the debuff. The reason why I would still consider switching in Hakamo instantly, because you need that Haxorus to beat Ice types, if they are there. However, considering that Arctopax is in the lead, there's unlikely gonna be any Ice types weak to counter in the back, I just realized. So it's not like you're gonna need your Haxorus to beat an Abomasnow and Aurorus later, since behind an Ice type, there's probably not gonna be... Behind a fighting weak Pokemon, there's likely not gonna be another fighting weak Pokemon in the back, is what I'm trying to say here. So, honestly, that was the right play. Jellicent comes in now. I am debuffed, because the Arctopax, a lot of dragons to remember. The Arctopax did throw what was it? Icy Wind into my Hakamo, which is not ideal. This means the Jellicent is still able to get to a Shadow Ball versus my Altaria, which I do shield up, shield down. Can Altaria still do this? Out comes Lantern. Been talking shit about Lantern all day. Altaria, it's not the dragon you want on Lantern though. I go for the bait here, because I figured there's no way they're gonna no-shield this. Dang. Kind of shot myself in the foot there. Catch this attack though. This might still give me a play here. Big Thunderbolt too. Very nice. Now I'm gonna have to Dragon Breath down or build up to 2 Sky attacks. So, I don't know if that bait was really stupid. Because it would have been close. I'm not sure if I would have reached double Sky. I think I would have reached double Moonblast, to be honest. I should have just gone for it, but I thought there's like no way. There's like no way you no-shield that. But yeah, should have just gone double Moonblast and would have likely won that game. Well played by my opponent there. Good call. GG's. That was the final battle of today. Triple Dragon is just the way. Like I said, tomorrow I'm posting a video about Triple Anti-Dragon, pretty much. And that's going to be a good team as well. However, bit of spoilers there. I already talked about it. I didn't face many dragons with that team. And I faced a ton of teams that I would have destroyed with Triple Dragon. So, you know, I think Triple Dragon is just the best team here. Honestly, I think Triple Dragon is just the best team. I think Arctopax instead of Haxorus is definitely a good ID as well. Because that's a dragon that can beat Ice types. So consider that as well. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Good luck with your battle, Sterners.